Because I think we can all agree, as inmates go, the Menendez brothers have been a paragon of rehabilitation in prison. Squeaky clean and very, very, very productive. I know somebody who can help me navigate this conundrum. It's Judge Peter Lichtman. He spent 18 years on the bench in the municipal and superior courts in Los Angeles County. Judge Lichtman, thank you for being here. What is the governor up to here?
Well, look, it's a political football, unfortunately. You completely identified the three paths. So you've got the resentencing, the request for a new trial, and the clemency. The district attorney has already come out and said that he's objecting to any kind of new trial procedure. The resentencing issue, the interesting aspect about this is if the district attorney agrees to go with the resentencing, and if they do remove the LWOP, which is life without possibility of parole, it goes directly to the state parole board. The irony is, so is the governor. The governor is going to the state parole board right now. And the reason for that is he's looking for a political pathway forward, which is, how do I do this? I don't want to run a risk. And so both sides, either the judicial perspective or the clemency route or the political route, is going to end up falling on the shoulders of the state parole board, interestingly enough. And both avenues are looking for a scapegoat in case something goes wrong.
So let me ask you this. I'm just assuming, based on the files, because I've read most or not, if not all, the public available ones, these guys are perfect. I mean, they are what we want in inmates. They look completely rehabilitated. They've done everything right. I'm not scared to live beside them. I'm not going to speak for everybody. I can't stand what happened to their parents. I hate that crime. But if this is what our prison system is supposed to be, they've achieved it. I assume that risk assessment is going to come back squeaky clean. So then what if the governor then says, well, thanks for doing all that work, I'm not granting clemency? Would that be a political disaster for him?
You know, the question is, he's got to measure and weigh what the sentiment in the state of California is with the people, and quite frankly, in the United States, about releasing these individuals. That's what he has to do. It's a political risk for him. So if the state parole board comes back and says they're model prisoners, we don't see any particular risk, you've identified it exactly. He has to then determine, is it a political risk to him to do it? And so for him to even send it to the state parole board, he's already kind of moving in the direction that he's leaning towards clemency. I mean, I would be surprised if he's not thinking that already, but he could deny it. He could easily come back and say, look, I just don't think it's appropriate. I would be taking it out of the hands of the jurors that decided in the second trial. Don't forget, the issue in the second trial came down to premeditation, and they found premeditation. In the first trial and the second trial, the state Supreme Court removed and eliminated the imperfect self-defense. So they were left with premeditation.
But what a waste of time and money. I mean, the risk assessment is not small. It's like 3 months long. And, you know, I should ask you, this is your business, not mine. How big a deal is it? How much work is it? What will it cost? And if it's all for nothing, that seems crazy.
Well, you're absolutely correct. But the interesting thing is, take a look at the avenues. In each avenue, in other words, if there is a resentencing, let's just, I don't think there'll be a new trial granted at all. I think that's just not going to happen. I think their attorney, Mr. Garagos, knows full well that's not going to happen. The district attorney's already come out and said it's not going to happen, or he's objecting. So it's down to resentencing. If they then decide to take the middle path and say, okay, we think we'll resentence, and they remove the LWOP, it's automatically going to go to the state parole board, automatically. So in either avenue that they're approaching, either way, through the governor clemency or through the resentencing, it ends up in the lap of the state parole board. So you say, well, what about all the money it's going to end up here?
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.